Welcome to Both Sides Now, featuring the unconventional duo, Dr. Shirley and medium Kelly White. Two perspectives, one world. This is Both Sides Now.
Yay! Hi, everybody. I am spiritual medium Kelly White, and this is Both Sides Now TV. I'm sorry that Dr. Shirley Pellizzeri won't be here tonight. She had other engagements tonight that she had to take care of. But I just want to tell you a few things. First of all, we're here with John Williams.
Hey,
John.
everybody. Happy to be here with you all.
Hi, John. How are you?
Comments and let us know you're in the audience here, and we will see you on the screen. I'm good,
Yes.
Kel. How are you doing?
I'm good.
The harvest moon?
Well, the harvest moon was something. It actually kind of pulled a punch on me. It made me more tired. Did it? How did you react to that?
Too. Yeah, that's
You
why I
too?
asked earlier before the show. I was like, how did that moon treat you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was something.
That was a
Gosh.
Pisces, and that's my sun sign. So.
Oh, so it really would have knocked you for a loop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we are going to talk about astrological aspects that are going on, but I wanted to mention a couple of things. Shirley and I had the best time Saturday night. We went to go see Earth, Wind, and Fire at the Hollywood Bowl. Oh, so fun.
Oh,
We had
so
the best
cool.
time, and we took Carrie Gonia with us.
Oh, yeah.
From Family Constellation Therapy. Oh, we just had such a great time. But September 21st, from the song September, was actually named. It was actually named in Los Angeles as Earth, Wind, and Fire Day. So this September 21st in LA will be Earth, Wind, and Fire Day. How great is that?
That's cool.
Especially
it
for
in the lyric, right? That's why.
Yeah,
Mhm.
September. So
Mhm.
I'm very partial to that.
Of
21st night of September. So
Mhm.
exciting. But I wanted to tell you guys, I had a really, really interesting experience. And our guest tonight, which I can't not wait to bring on, he was with us at this event with James Van Prague and Chris Drew, who's a medium from London. Oh my gosh, he was a former drag queen, and he's got this energy and this vibration, and he's so great, and he's so empathic and kind and good, and just a fabulous soul. And he and James together did a demonstration Tuesday night. And Jeff's going to mention one of the stories that occurred, but this was one of those magical demonstrations, the kind where most amazing things occurred. I mean, God, some fascinating information. But at the end of the show, right at the end, James turns to a woman in the audience and he says, I couldn't tell how old she was, but probably I'm going to guess in her 70s. And he said, I've got your husband here. And he starts naming everything about her husband, and they're talking, and it's right on, it's spot on. And we thought the show was over then, and then he stops and he looks at her and he says, no, I have one more thing to say. It's Susie. Who's Susie? And she says, I'm sorry, I don't know a Susie. And he goes, yes, Susie, Susie, Seuss. And she stops and she says, Dr. Seuss was my stepfather.
Wow.
It was so shocking. I can't even tell you. The whole audience went we lost it.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. Dr. Seuss's stepdaughter.
Wow.
But the story takes a wilder twist 2 days later. So 2 days later, I was doing a reading for one of Shirley's patients who had asked me, and she was an older woman who had lost her daughter. And so Shirley was in the room with me. And often when, if they're Shirley's people, often they like her to be in the room because they're a little anxious about it. And this woman was anxious. And her daughter came through and gave all kinds of great information. And I thought, boy, I'm so clear. Everything was coming through, And at the end, I said to her, did your daughter like James Van Prague? Because I'm hearing James Van Prague's name in my head. She must have liked him. And she said, oh, Kelly, she loved James Van Prague. I said, she's telling me she was in Encinitas at the demonstration on Tuesday night. And she said, really? And I said, yes, because when James or any medium is doing a demonstration, often it's not just the loved ones in the audience that have, loved ones on the other side, but it could also be souls on the other side that are learning to work with a medium. And so what I got from the daughter was that she was there to learn how to work with me. And that's why she was so clear. I mean, clear is clear. But the weirdest thing happened. Then Shirley says, tell her the Dr. Seuss story. So I tell her the Dr. Seuss story, and she stops. This is Shirley's patient, who was
Yeah.
my client, and
Yeah.
she says, hold on a second, I have to show you something. She had a big bag. She takes out a smaller bag of her daughter who passed away's dog, who had passed away's ashes. And she holds the bag up, and it was a Dr. Seuss bag. Okay, now seriously, what are the odds of that?
Yeah.
It was just mind-boggling. Anyway,
Wow.
if you guys ever get a chance to go see James' work, you should. I mean, he's fascinating, and the work he does is phenomenal, and it was a great night. So let's talk now about, before we introduce our special guest, about what's going on astrologically, because I know everybody's dying to know. Oh boy. So we're just going to talk about this week alone. And it started on the 15th, which was yesterday. And this will go, what I'm about to say goes till the 23rd of September. Okay. So Saturn turns direct in 2 days on the 18th. Saturn turns direct. The reason that is important is because Saturn, and this is in Capricorn, it's work and health. Now, Saturn is a taskmaster. Saturn actually goes into your profession and your personal. Like, are you ready to start a diet? Are you ready to get your health worked on? Are you ready to make your plans? Because I'm not fooling around here. You're going to do it now. But what's so amazing is in a couple of days soon after that, Pluto goes direct. So that would mean Saturn and Pluto direct. And Pluto going direct is going to help with solutions to all of these things that you want to do. So those two together are really, really powerful. And it all culminates on the same exact degree of January 22nd, 2020. This is really important because if you set those goals now, like you're going to be drawn, you're going to feel like you have to do something now because, oh, that's right, you do. You're going to be pushed into it. It's going to feel like, God, I got to call that person. I have to work and I have to take care of myself. Today, I'm in Texas today, and I was like, I have to stop and get my green drink. I've got to get healthy again. I mean, I felt it. Anyway, it pushes you, but by January 22nd of 2020, what's so important about that is gives you the time period. Get this done before that's your target date. So you want to set your new life up, set your goals, and get them done by January 22nd, 2020. That's this intense energy that you're going to feel. Okay? Wow. It's a commitment to the right action. It's very, very important. So we will talk.
Yeah. What we're talking about tonight. Right?
Well, that's what's so great. So now I'm so excited because this is seriously talk about, to help with transformation is our very special guest. So I'm going to tell you about our very special guest whose name is Jeff Adler. I have known Jeff Adler for several years. Jeff and I have traveled around the world together. He's one of the most compassionate, kindest, most empathic person, one of the most compassionate people I've ever met. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, really, he's patient beyond. I mean, in fact, even today when we were trying to get on the show, John, right? How patient was he? Yes. I was in Europe with him once. I was in Italy, and I'm like, Jeff, I have to have a pizza. And he's like, okay. And the boat was leaving. Seriously, the ship was leaving. He's like, well, Kelly, I think we should go. He was so patient. I'm like, no, I have to have this friggin' pizza. I got my pizza. Sadly, it was a frozen pizza. Who knew? But anyway, he's just the best. He's somebody that you would really want to work with. And so he's all about transformation. So let me tell you about Jeff. He's had more than 40 years of experience in spiritual, physical, and psychological modalities. Intuitive transformational coach, Jeff Adler is a sincere, insightful, and inspirational healer. He draws from vast training and experience in transformational modalities with James Van Praagh, Deepak Chopra, seriously, Landmark, if anybody does, Jeff can tell you about Landmark, David Hawkins, and others to use kinesiology, Reiki, meditation, yoga, psychotherapy, energy work, Qigong, and various other healing methods to help his clients realize and live their best lives. It is Jeff's mission to get to know his clients' authentic selves and to ensure that they have an unforgettable experience that is truly transformational. Jeff moves people through their challenges through real and concrete resolution. With such resolution comes a more fulfilling and joyful existence. Jeff believes we are all whole, complete, and perfect when we first come into the world. Our life experiences chip away at this wholeness and reduce our happiness. So many of us live our lives with a nagging sense that something is missing. There may be one aspect holding us back. It's like we are firing on 9 out of 10 cylinders. It may be a dysfunctional relationship from our past, a current financial strain, a particular physical challenge, a social anxiety, a label that we apply to ourselves, or even a feeling that we're not living up to our true potential. So, having said that, I'd love to introduce Jeff Adler.
Thank you, Kelly. How are you? Great to see
Hi,
you and be with
great,
you. And
great to
thank you,
see
John.
you. Great to
Yay.
see
Happy with
you.
Jeff. We already have calls pending, so this is a good sign. So.
Beautiful.
Great. So, Jeff, tell us, well, before we even get on here, would you tell us a little bit about your experience with James and Chris Drew on Tuesday night? Because you had
Well,
another insight that was phenomenal.
yeah, it was really remarkable. A couple rows in front of you were 6 women that it turned out. First, James received a download from a child. He went into all the details with the stuffed animal and what was in the nightstand and memorabilia and evidence. And then he brought in the woman next to that woman's son as well. So there were 2 boys there together. So it turned out that whole row of 6 was a support group for infants that had died. And it was just remarkable. So they were delighted. They spoke with James afterwards. I spoke with them outside. They were running to their cars to call the other people in the support group. But it's a miracle what this work does, and talk about transforming lives. These women that were, just completely devastated, still 1, 2, 3, 4 years later, now have messages and direction from the other side. So it was a miracle,
Yeah.
really a miracle.
Really, I'm so glad you pointed that out because it was a really special evening, and this work is really empowering. Really helps
Sure.
move people from being stuck. Gosh.
Yes,
Wow. Well, so how did you get involved in this? Because you've worked with some of the biggest masters on the planet.
exactly. It just started looking like everyone else, just being in a stuck state and having my insight. That's what I work mainly with, is our core. So it's like my clients realize that there's something wrong, and what we work with is uncovering their beliefs and decisions that they make about themselves to change them into what better serves them. So we create balance. So I was looking for balance, and it's the same thing I have my clients and coaching clients discover about balance between work and home. And I basically work off 8 pillars of life. So physicality, finance, spirituality, and we uncover those limiting beliefs and limiting decisions that really have the client skyrocket in all areas of life and find balance.
Yes. Okay. And so what is the typical person that comes to you?
It's a wide array. It could be someone that's making a lot of money and doesn't have a relationship, or it could be someone that is financially set and doesn't know what to do next in their life, or it
Right.
could be someone that is looking for that career. So
Ah,
it really could be anyone looking for balance that's
yeah.
not sure. They can sense something in their core. So we work with core
Right.
values. You can describe it very well too, I'm sure, but the uncovering of the onion we all have a similar core value of happiness, joy, love, equanimity, and it's uncovering the stories that are covering up that true self.
It's so interesting because we're in a time period now where that discovery is going to be coming out for people. They're going to start feeling that energy of, I need help. Something's off. how come I can't get ahead, or how come I can't, what's going on with me? And that is the kind of thing that will, your work will help them so much by getting them unstuck. It's like raising their vital life force, if you will.
Exactly. And there's different methods, different modalities. So yes, the different gurus I've trained with for 30 or 40 years have taught me quite a bit. And then there's NLP techniques and the landmark education you met. So it's a whole eclectic group that we really, roll up our sleeves. We uncover mainly all around what the client is looking for. And most of the time it is that balance.
And
It
so
is
when you're,
yeah,
I was
go
going to
ahead.
say, when you're with a person, are they filling out questions? Do they talk to you? And do you figure out where their imbalance lies, or do they know?
It's a combination of all that. We're using Skype or the phone, so it's really
Okay,
anywhere
good.
in the world.
Okay.
And because of kinesiology, I do quite a bit of muscle testing as well. So I know we're both intuitive and psychic, so that plays into part of it. So I can sense what's underneath the story. And then
Yeah.
to verify quite a bit of it, I muscle test, which is a brand of kinesiology. I find I don't want to get in the way of. I don't want my emotions to get in the way of helping a client grow. So the
Right.
kinesiology really helps keep my emotions out of it. So it's beautiful.
Can you explain what that means, kinesiology?
So I muscle test. So like in the wheel of life, if someone is saying, well, in physicality, I'm really out of 10, like 6 or 7, and I can test, well, it's really a 1 or 2, and testing, is there, something that I'm missing or you're missing, or, what 3 things would you like to do in physicality in order to get to a 10? So in kinesiology, it tests strong or weak by just the universe is
Wow.
sending me the strength or the weakness
Oh,
of
okay.
what is being tested. And it could be tested in past lives, future occurrences, and things like
Wow.
that. Yes,
Wow. So a past life could certainly block somebody from going further.
exactly. So it could be
Wow.
I'm working quite a bit with integrity in past lives, believe it or not, which is quite interesting. So
Okay. Tell us all about that. That's
so
fascinating. My audience loves past life anything.
So it's all based on Dr. David Hawkins' power versus force and the level of consciousness. So, and the consciousness that we're speaking about is not, of course, just from this life. So we might be trying to elevate ourselves, rise, and there's something that just isn't working. So intuitively or through muscle testing, we can go to a past, was it 1 past lives, 2 past lives? So we can test which past life we can go into, and then find an event or just clear integrity in general 3 lifetimes ago, and that corrects it through the time periods and lifetimes, and then that
Wow.
unleashes the blocks today. So it's quite fascinating work.
That is fascinating. Who I,
Yeah,
I would have never imagined that. I honestly don't know anything about this. It's fascinating to me.
good.
Who is David Hawkins?
He's a he had an institute in the 50s, 60s, and 70s based all around the level of consciousness. And the next time I'm on, we can post it's actually a chart from 0 to 1,000, and we can test each day our level of consciousness to see if we're rising. So in the 1 and 200s would be fear, and then towards the 6 or 700s would be love and equanimity, and then up towards 1,000 is peace and true heart-centered love. So it's and we test, like the United States today is 233 as an average level of consciousness in the United States today.
So,
So my
and the
group,
highest would be how high?
1,000.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. So what you're saying is the United States has a lower consciousness.
Yes. It has
Yes,
been
Kelly, that's what
rising.
I'm saying.
Yes, it has been rising. It's up from the 100s about 25 years ago, the upper 100s, and it's now in the
Wow.
200s. But yes, that's what we do. And we have a group that double-blind tests, like we text into each other to see if we're coming up with the same number to make sure we're not blocked or affected by anything.
Right.
So like this morning, we all texted each other, and it was, 19, or it was 6 out of 7 of us all came up with the 233 number. So those are people all over the
Wow.
world that are tuning into the same subject matter by just muscle testing. So it's pretty, so that help. Yeah. Yeah, it's all great. So it helps my clients
Yes.
by me getting to the bottom, like, and if they're advanced spiritually, then we can discuss, what it tests for and what action. But if I have a Wall Street guy that may not be in, because I
Right.
coach all kinds, I just use
Right.
different words to get to the similar transformational
Well,
results. Yeah,
and you came from a business background,
exactly.
a strong business background.
Yes.
So
So
you could
that's my
really
special.
probably reach, I
Yeah.
was going to say, you could really reach out to somebody in business and speak their language to understand your language.
Right, and transform. Like I have a
Yeah.
program now on my site as well, like a package of 6. Coaching is really shifting, and there's many, because of instant gratification for a lot of the public, they're looking for packages. So there's now different packages available for 6 sessions. You can have this happen, or 6 sessions. So right now there's a package running that was like for finding balance between business and home life. Like home life, they can't be present, and of course they're bringing business home. Um,
Wow.
so yeah, so it's all quite beautiful.
This is amazing work that you're doing.
Yeah, I'm honored to share it with you. Thank you so much.
Oh my God. So when you're doing this work, does it bring up any issues, as we talked about, for you or for, and, oh, I know what I was going to ask. And does it affect other family members? So if you're working with a client, a new client, and I'm guessing that the client that you're working with starts, their vibration starts to rise,
Right.
and then everybody around them starts, it has to happen that way.
Yes, in other words, the other night is a perfect example with
Yeah.
James. So I tested the beginning of the night. The room average was 325, and it went to 425, which was a huge group at the end, at lift. So then
Wow.
those people go home, and
Right.
they're people that they're living with, and next day at work, if we don't keep, it does subside if we don't continue the work like we're doing. If you
Okay.
don't have some kind of self-discovery work or some kind of thing, it does go back to the 240s, 250s. But there's definitely an elevation during these events and stuff.
Right. So Barb says, was he saying that we have to clear past life issues before we can be more spiritual with intuition and such?
I would say so. Haven't you run across that?
I have. I
Yes.
have. Usually, if somebody is stuck, it's from somewhere, whether it's this life or a past life, and it's we got to you could clear that up actually to keep going further. Yeah, good question
Yes.
though.
So either in Brian Weiss does beautiful work, or
Yeah.
James has done beautiful meditations along all that. So yes, definitely clearing that. And James also lectures on it's all happening at once. So we think a little. This changed my belief too in the past
Okay.
life thing. So it's not like past lives are stacked one on top of the other. What happens if they're all going on right now? We don't know that, right?
That's such a concept,
Yes.
right? So if
Hmm.
it's all going on right now, then you could
Yes.
grab it and say, okay, I need to let go of this and work on this. And you
Yes.
actually could. So we are always in a constant state of raising our vibration and raising our consciousness constantly.
Yes.
You
But
know,
your comment is very well taken, that we can shift or transform our work environment, our home environment, family members, and certainly our vibration has a lot to do with that.
yeah.
Yes.
Do you think people have a trouble with wanting to change?
Yes. You really, all of these programs and all the coaching in
Mhm.
the world doesn't do much good unless there's really a desire.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, people have to hit rock bottom. The majority of people, either you're a junkie, like a transformation junkie,
Right.
is totally devoted their life to this to grow, or they've hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
to drugs, alcohol, relationships, sex, eating,
Yeah.
whatever, to mask. Because don't you find that the true self, that core that we're talking about, really, and that oneness desire is really screaming to come out?
Oh, I absolutely believe that. I believe
Yes.
that. And I think that people get tired, they get stuck, they get tired, they don't want to do the work, they don't understand what the work is, they don't want to settle down, they just want to stay in the dysfunction. Sometimes it's easier to stay in the dysfunction. And as a therapist, it's tough because, I'm watching, okay, how long do you want to do this? Because you could play this game, you can continue. In fact, I think you should continue on it because you're doing so well on it. I mean, it's unbelievable to me. But often people have to hit bottom. You're absolutely right. But then I have these other people that go, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to seize the day, if you will, and I'm going to do it. And we're in a time right this moment of great transformation. And with this Saturn and this Pluto going direct, it's going to force people almost to start making correct choices and do it now and make some good choices and good decisions and change your life. And you're the perfect person. You know so much about all of this. Tell us about Qigong, because that always fascinates me.
Well, it's all energy, right? So all the vibration that we're talking about and the transformation is all energy. And so the Qigong is just a way of moving the energy. So the external energy meeting the internal energy. It's usually, my training is it comes through the chakras, and not just the 7 chakras, there's 200 plus chakras throughout the whole body. So the Qigong and yoga postures actually do move energy through the whole body, and then the energy body or the physical body extends to meet universal energy and stuff. So there's definitely a higher being experience during all that, the more open we are. Yes.
Interesting you said that. Was doing yoga back in the day after I had my head injury, and I didn't know what had happened to me. And every yoga pose, a new past life would come out.
Ah.
And it was, I just can't even tell you how some of it was traumatic. I mean, I'm seeing things and I knew it was me in a past life, and it was coming out to release it. Yoga is very powerful, very powerful. So Debbie Rodriguez says, is this called repatterning?
Yeah,
Repatterning.
sure. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. And
Yes.
it's sort of like it's happened to us in our travels, Kelly, and when we're out, it's either people have hit rock bottom, they realize something's wrong, or they come up often and say, I want what you have, because they realize our light or they realize our vibration. Okay, you want what I have, it's going to take a lot of work, but I would start with such and
Yeah.
such, and then we can talk further. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's picked up that way. I want some of that, which is the biggest compliment, right?
It is, if they're ready to do the work. It just
Right.
doesn't come out that way. It's so funny because, again, as you know, I had a traumatic brain injury. It wasn't like, oh, and here I am now. No, not at all. It was like years of a lot of pain and suffering, actually, and doing this work, going inward, meditating every day, talking to God, connecting to the universe. That went on and on and on. Well, as it still does, because we're constantly in growth. But if somebody, sets a session with you, so tell us from the basics, like where you would start and how you would do it. And because I
Yeah,
know my people are going to want to do this.
sure. After an expectation call, so we have 30, 40-minute call to see what it would be like to work together, and there's no obligation at that point. So we have an expectation call on both sides, and then a typical session really goes from there. It's all about the client, so what they're looking for. So if they want specific breakthroughs with with X, Y, or Z, or if they want to transform their life, if they have a block they haven't gotten over childhood issues, they haven't so really I
Yeah.
do work off the pillars. I find going
Okay.
through the pillars of life to look for balances, because it's often a blind spot
Yeah.
that we're looking for. It's really setting up trust and a partnership to look for blind spots to see what's holding them back. And then I work with timeline therapy, and there's all different modalities, probably 30, 35 different techniques to use in order to get people to realize what's going on. Again, it's all driven by them. And each session, there's different action items, and it's not a huge long. It's not like years ago in coaching, you had to be 2, 3, 4 years. Yes, there are many clients that have been around because life keeps shifting and they
Right.
see the benefits of it. But in 6, 9, 12 months, there's tremendous results and balance happening. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my God. Well, are you ready to take a call?
Oh, absolutely. You?
I am ready.
Great.
John?
All righty. So we have some calls waiting, and I just want to read a comment that will take up the entire screen if I put it on the screen. But Rebecca
Okay.
says, I have learned in changing my vibration, increasing it. I don't want to eat processed foods anymore. Some people
Right
don't want
on.
to be around you anymore. And new people are drawn to you in your new higher vibration. It was a lot of work, and I've done all, and I'm still processing or progressing, actually. So,
Well,
yeah.
that's very true, actually. I mean, as I was saying earlier on today, as soon as I got here to Texas, I actually had to go find some juicer, and I'd find, juice and get juice. I mean, I'm a green juice junkie. I mean, so
You are.
yeah, got to keep my vibration up.
Got to work that heart chakra. So
That's
Jason
right.
Thompson says, how do we release others' karmic ties to us so we can move forward?
Jeff?
Yeah, the first realization is that it's there. And second, we're in command. Many people think that I don't come from the negative, or it's a bad thing, or I don't have judgment around it. So I first suggest releasing judgment around it and then just dealing with the facts. So then just in a quiet meditation, getting to know it better, I believe in embracing these things, and then thanking if it's X, whatever whatever visitation X might be, getting to know it a little better. What is your purpose for being here? What is the lesson I need to learn from being here? How can I grow from it? And then release it. Okay, I understand. Thank you. And you're released. Go to the light, kind of thing. And it was beneficial having you visit. And thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good. That
All
was
right.
good.
So if you'd like to call in, his number is 213-893-4464. We have several calls waiting. I am going to go ahead and get to them. So go ahead and give me a number from 1 to 5 to start off with.
Jeff?
4.
Number 4. So we have Maureen calling, I believe. Area code 417350. You're on the line. Could we have your name, please, and where you're calling from?
Maureen, and I'm calling from Missouri.
Hey,
Hi,
Maureen.
Maureen.
Maureen from Missouri. That's an M and an M. And did your mother pass? That's another M there.
No.
Okay. Because I was thinking 444. M's are fours, and you were number 4. So how can we help you today, Maureen?
Well, I'm looking to make some changes in my career and trying to figure out, really my goal is to be less stressed.
Mm-hmm.
So working to decrease my anxiety and really live from a place of freedom and joy.
Beautiful.
And the first thing that comes up is gratitude. How are you with your gratitude list?
I could definitely improve on that, but I do try to focus on that.
Okay, good.
I did an exercise today, Maureen, with my coaching clients. I keep in touch during the week as well, and to like 15 of them, I wrote out, what did you want to be as a child? So I'm surrounded that, and I was pleasantly surprised that most are doing a version of what they wanted to be as a child. So I'll ask you, what did you want to be as a child? Because that's when we're sort of carefree and innocent, and we get away from that. So what did you want to be as a child?
I wanted to be a teacher.
Okay. And does that fit in now?
It does a little bit. And I wanted to, as I've grown as an adult, I feel like I've worked with people and helping them, just along their path, whatever that is. So helping them find a deeper meaning or another answer, or, just anything I could do to help them. I enjoy doing that, and I like doing that.
Right. So a nowadays
For what
teacher
my
may
next.
be it may be a healer or a trainer, or it might be a modern day version of a teacher, desire of childhood. So I could see along the healing lines or training lines or how are you around corporate?
I work in the medical field, and I feel like I feel like I do that to my day to day, which I enjoy. But I'm always looking for those deeper conversations. I want to connect with my coworkers or the people that I'm interacting with, and really, like get to know them a little bit and see what's really going on in their lives. And so I enjoy that aspect. I just don't know how to make that work and get reimbursed for that, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I know. I understand what you're saying, Maureen. And it's tough in the corporate world, right, Jeff? I mean, it really
Yes.
is. It's tough there. You'd probably make a great therapist. Maureen, what's your birth date?
November 17th.
Oh, okay. So you really come into you're very psychic. You're very intuitive. No wonder you really are feeling like you want to do this and you want to connect to people on a deeper spiritual level, because you actually are a spiritualist. You come in as a spiritualist.
Yeah.
And you've got a brain that you can do business and spirituality, both. Ironically, you can do both. Are you anxious?
I am. I get a lot of anxiety, and I feel like I'm extremely empathetic.
Yeah, you would. Well, you're an empath, so
And I
you would
want
be.
to,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're a
So I want to work
natural.
on releasing that anxiety and focusing
Yeah.
more on, positive things. Good. There's so much good out there. So I don't need to be labeled by my anxiety. I want to
Right.
be able to transition out of that and really focus on good things that life has to offer and that we can
Oh,
access.
all right, Jeff, take it away on
Yeah.
that one.
So first, what is the fear behind? I have a couple ideas, but I want to understand a little bit the fear behind the anxiety.
I think the first thing that I heard that popped in was afraid of making a mistake.
Okay, which is you're not alone, and is very common, and to realize that. So that goes way back. So it's very helpful. We're not going to do it now, but in your meditative time is to think back the first time you made a mistake. So go back to nursery school, kindergarten, and look at that reaction, and then see that that's no longer you or accurate, but it's like called a set point. And very often we just carry that limiting decision. I don't even call it limiting belief anymore, because it's a decision we made at that time that's no longer there. So we made that limiting decision and we brought it all the way into our adulthood. So next I would suggest, so after that knowledge is there, what would happen, what would everything look like in a year from now? So what would the ideal job, like the ideal life, look like in a year from now?
Oh, the ideal job would be, wow. I think I would love to help people. So in a form of a coaching format or an intuitive format or any type of healing format, I love all of that, and that would be ideal for me.
Okay. So next we put into action steps to get that going. There's enough online things, there's enough meditation, there's enough books, there's enough, so I would backtrack that. The reason I use a year, because knowing sometimes for a businessman, he wants to 3 months, but for a year, if you're processing some anxiety, let's give it a year, but you have a year to put X, Y, and Z into effect in order to have that result that you want. But I definitely sense, and it's muscle testing strong, that it can all happen in a year. It's just going to take some action items, which you enjoy, and you enjoy the modalities and the trainings, and of course that's the teaching background. So it all fits with your sign in your life. So I would just get straight what the stuck point is, and then just be freed. And it's not going to be we integrate that. It's not like that memory is going to go away, but the knowledge will help integrate the whole thing, and you can sort of start to laugh at it when you're feeling that anxiety rather than being paralyzed from it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm just going to add this, Maureen, that your birth placement is all about psychic ability and being able to do it and being really using your intuition. So, I would go with everything that Jeff is saying because it's all possible, especially with your birth placement. It's all possible. Just
And
take
Maureen,
action.
are you drawn to like any type of oracle cards or tarot cards or anything like that to practice with?
Yeah, I really loved Doreen Virtue. I loved her cards. So I use those quite a bit. And I'm drawn more to the positive, angels, guides, that type of realm.
John, do you want to pull a card for her?
Sure, I can do that really quick. Let me grab them.
John's got these amazing cards.
Yeah.
Then we'll.
So the
Yeah,
cards I was using, we've used these in previous shows, and those are called the Chakra Healing Deck, and it's by Sage Goddess. There's so many, just whatever you're drawn to, but these are all positive. These are all just focusing on where in your chakras to focus healing. And so let me see the one that's popping out right now, and that's honesty. So that is a throat chakra card, and it's saying be conscious of the words you speak and ask yourself, do these words resonate with my highest truth? Honesty with yourself and others is a supreme form of respect. When you express yourself authentically, you come into divine flow. Ask yourself, who needs your truth and your honesty right now? And allow for the possibility that, in fact, you are the one who needs to hear words in this moment. So that is the crystal of amazonite. I've never heard of that. Amazonite. And the herb is blackberry. So this is the honesty card. And it's from the deck of Chakra Healing Deck, Sage Goddess. So hopefully
thank you. Yeah, thanks for calling, Maureen.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, bye. All right, John, I'm feeling number 3.
Okay, you got it. And thanks again, Maureen. Here we go. So we're going to go to area code, looks like 551. It looks like Jersey City. Let's see here.
That's you.
551, you're on the line. Can we have your name, please, and where you're calling from? Are you there, 551? We don't hear you. All right. Well, we will come back to you.
Okay.
And go ahead. Let's see, Cal. Give me another number.
2.
All right. So return that one to the queue. And we'll go to number 2. This would be, I believe it's our friend Sandy. Sandy from 804. Hi, Sandy.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Sandy. Is this Sandy Ward?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Sandy. Jeff, do you know Sandy?
Hi, Sandy. I know the name. Yes.
Sandy's a wonderful medium as well.
Great.
Sandy, do you have a question for Jeff?
Yes, it's perfect what Jeff was talking about, because today I went to, I had acupuncture and I haven't had it in years. And my health is what I've been working on for about a year. And I really put my business on hold for self-care. And I came out like 3.5 years ago as professional medium. And I was giving, just like rods of energy to everybody. And I just, James kept warning me, you can get burned out. It's okay. And it wasn't burned out from my spiritual stuff. It was just draining to the physical body on earth plane. And I thought I did a lot of personal healing of things in the past. But in my meditation, I kept on hearing the word splinters. You still got those splinters left from the past. And so I've been seeing a naturopathic doctor besides regular doctors. And my husband just plain simple said, you haven't been a long time to acupuncture. You need to change your energy that way. And I went to him today for the first session, and he just boom, 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 looked at me. And I mean, besides the regular test they give you, he just knew exactly what I needed. And it lined up with all my meditation lately. And it's the energy of flow and then how it goes out. I had nothing left to give anybody.
Yeah.
So
what do you have to say about that, Jeff, with that?
Well, your energy is strong now. Sandy, I would just we're able to tap into. I go for acupuncture. It's great, and it's a great, beautiful tune-up, etc. And we have a lot of that ability ourselves. So I connect my feet in meditation. I make sure I'm connected to the earth by my feet. And then I open up the top of my head to the heavens energy, and I really ask it to flow, to be in the flow and be connected. And I use the terms, heal my mind, body, and spirit, or I need all the universal energy now flows through me. And I do that in the, driving in the car if I'm feeling slightly depleted or whatever is going on. So I have the intention of using the universal energy around me. So I'm sensing just some shifts in your daily routine around that will help tremendously. And I find that mindset is key around this. So our mind is much more powerful than we give it credit for. So, and I wouldn't let it get in the way of our health. And just take care of yourself. So obviously, if 10 appointments a day is outrageous, then do 8. But I have many clients that just retreat to bed for 3 or 4 days. Yes, if it's necessary, do that. But as a regular routine, we can certainly nourish ourselves and replenish our energy. Similar to what Kelly was saying about diet and juices and all of that being in step, because the body is meant to take, really unbelievable, you might say punishment or whatever, but the body is really meant to keep marching and keep serving. So, yeah.
And Sandy, I know that you have a birthday coming up, as I have a birthday coming up, because I think you and I discussed that once. So that's a whole new year for us, right? So the whole year we've got going on here. So this is all good. Take care of yourself, and thanks for calling, Sandy. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Jeff, do you have a number to choose?
Yeah, I just what Jeff said about the mindset.
Okay.
And he said about the mindset too. I realized what I was doing was almost punishing myself in the mindset of, you're sick. I not ever missed my client appointments, but just things I wanted to do with friends or meet with them. And then I realized my mindset, my meditation was, I was looking at it as a negative of my health. You kept me from going to this thing or this function. And actually, if I looked at it, spirit kept me from going into trauma or hearing other people's problems that I would have solved if I went to that luncheon.
Probably.
Just remember, we're the ones that are always we're always the ones that are in control. So we stay in control. So that was a
good thought, Jeff.
Yes,
I love that.
Yes.
It is. Jeff is very good in grounding. If you ever have him in your presence, he's like the light.
Totally.
Chaos.
Oh my God, that's so true. Thanks, Sandy.
Great to hear your voice, Sandy. I'm going to choose number 1, please, John.
All right, you got it. So it looks like we have number 1 would be 914, area code 914. Is this Janine?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Janine.
From New York.
Yes, Rockland County. Are you in Rockland or Westchester?
No, I'm Dutchess. I'm
okay, good.
County.
Great.
Yeah.
How can we help you today?
I've been feeling exhausted mentally, physically, just like in limbo where I just can't. I know what I need to do. I know what I want, but I'm just stuck.
So if you had to guess what you're stuck from, what's making you stuck?
Well, I'm waiting to go back into my home after a fire. It's supposed to be ready, 3 weeks ago. I don't know exactly, and I feel like I'm still in the hotel. I'm, I have stuff packed up, some stuff out. Like I'm waiting to get home and kind of start my life in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm here today, and I was doing well at first because we've been here since January.
Wow.
I was doing okay, and and you go back, and you know, some days are harder than others.
Mhm.
But since, you know, like I get a day, and then that another week passes, and we're not, you know, it's not ready, and I feel like I'm stuck. I'm just like kind of stuck here.
So
Um,
I would just be kind to yourself to start with, because you're going through a lot. So it's not just like your boss yelled at you at work, or you got in a little fender bender. You had a major upheaval in life. So first is
Really?
acknowledging that, and that you've been through quite a bit. And yes, it's probably 8 or 9 months later, and it is, of course, frustrating. And at the same time, if you have the desire to get out and really, you have, you know, the faculties and ability to move forward in a strong pace. So it's really up to you. If you're over, there's definitely, Kelly can inform us on grief. So there's a lot of loss around
Yeah.
fire. There's a whole psychological processing. And if you're near the end of that and then ready to take action, then my next questions would be around, like, are you having some meditation time to get centered? What are you doing to center and ground yourself? What actions, again, similar to what I said before, where do you want to be and be doing outside of the house and moved in? We understand that, but for your, I'm always get concerned about the self. So at your core level, are you feeding your soul? And where do you want to see your soul in, 3, 6, 9 months? And then what actions are you going to take to soothe your soul and feed your soul in the next 3, 6, 9 months, if you feel you're ready?
yeah,
How do you
it's
feel about that?
hard. I try to, you know, I do try. I definitely have not been doing it as much as I was. And I had I have a little great niece who I watched since she was a baby. She started school this September, so I'm at a loss with that too. Um, so I'm really kind of just sitting around doing nothing. So there
Well,
are definite things that I'd like to do outside the house and stuff, but like I said, I just literally feel like,
Well, I wouldn't book up your whole day, but I would start by, I'm a really big believer in action steps, because if you're going to sit around and just think about it, and then, like I said, emotionally, if you feel emotionally stable, then we start pushing ourselves. So then today, maybe it's not, spending 10 hours away from the house, but set a goal of 20 to 30 minutes being out and doing something. And then the next day, 40 minutes. And then it's like relearning to ride a bike again, to be able to get acclimated to feeling positive in the outside world. So I would definitely, and have someone hold you accountable. So a loved one or a relative or friend, put your reminders on and get out and do it, because it's all cognitive. It's just a relearning experience to get you fully, because it sounds like you want to do it. So now just do it.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
really interesting because I'm getting, when I pulled a card for you, I got the solar power card. So, which is all about the sun. So, and the crazy thing about all of that is that you just have to get outside and connect with the sun. Just like Jeff said, a few minutes a day, just do it and change up your routine, because that's gonna switch up your energy, and you're gonna draw from the sun, the energy from the sun.
I
Super.
have a big sign in my office that says, just do it. It's the Nike sign, just do it. You just have to take that step, whether you're tired that day or you're depressed. You have to breathe in, lean into it, and keep going, and don't lean back. My father used to say, straight ahead and just keep going.
yeah.
There you go.
That's
All right.
good.
Well,
Yeah.
thanks for calling.
Keep in touch with
All
us and
right.
let
Thank
us
you
know.
very much, everybody.
Thank
I
you.
will.
Okay. Thanks for
I
calling.
will.
Yeah.
Take care.
It's
You too.
it's hard, isn't it, Jeff, when somebody's had big trauma like that? I mean, that's large trauma when you've had a home burned down. That's large trauma. And she may need some somatic experience work. She may need to be with a therapist, but definitely lean into getting help and taking action. And taking action is
Yeah.
the first key.
It's certainly in this instance, a blunt lesson in non-attachment, right? If you're going to lose all that stuff. So we don't know what the universe has lined up for us. And like I said, you go into a grieving or mourning period, and then we get back on what did I learn and what am I going to move forward? So maybe I go out and even help fire victims and do volunteer work, be in action rather than, I'm not saying she was a victim, but many people become victimized because of the life occurrences.
Right.
Yeah, and they create the whole story. So we have the event, and then we have the story around the event, right? So
Right.
we try to keep them separate.
Oh, so true, Jeff. That is so true. All right, John.
It's really interesting because when you were saying that, the phrase came to me. There's no problem you can't give your way out of. So when
Right.
you give your way, so you're giving back, and you're giving what it is that you actually need. So it's really cool.
Yes, that's so
Brilliant.
true.
I want to put up Jeff's information. It's jeff@jeffadler.com. And Jeff, you have some packages that you work with one-on-one with people, correct?
Yes, I do one-on-one coaching like I described earlier, and I do have a few openings, so I'd love to speak to you, and we can have a get acquainted kind of call, and then talk about what your goals are, because it's all about you. Then I have also a package that'll be on the website shortly, or just email me about it. But yeah, just 6 sessions to really find balance in life quickly. So we speed up the whole process. So I have a couple things available, but if you reach out, I'd love to speak to you further.
Great. All right. And
Great. And we'll post his website and
Sure.
for
Yes.
everybody too.
You got
Yes,
it. So
thank you.
Let's create what's possible.com, but if you go to jeffadler.com, it redirects you there. So
Yes,
it's easier
thank
to
you.
type. So
Yeah.
I'll put that right here. But thank you so much, Jeff. We're running out of time. We've got 6:56 right now. So
Well, should we take one more call?
sure, let's go.
Let's
Last
just take
caller.
one last caller.
Great.
So we've got area code 850 on the line, and you're calling from Florida. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I'm Panama City Beach, Florida.
All right.
Welcome.
Name, please.
Oh, this is Barbara.
Hey, Barbara.
Hi, Barbara.
Hi, Barbara. How can we help you today?
Well, I was really fascinated what he was talking about earlier about past lives, and you have to get rid of those blocks first before you can raise your vibration. And I don't have a clue about past lives. I've never had anybody say anything to me about those. I just started about a year ago, started learning about all of this because of crazy things that have happened since my husband passed. And it's just fascinating. I used to have an intuition type thing when I was a kid, but I lost it growing up. So I was just wondering, is there something you can do to keep your mind from wandering off when you are trying to do meditation?
Well, I would just be careful of being too hard on yourself. In fact, Deepak Chopra recently came out with a study that the intention of meditating, like just say, I'm going to sit on, on a chair for the next 15 minutes. They now did brainwave studies, and they said that that was the effect of same effect of meditating for 20 minutes. So the intention of just sitting had a similar effect of a 20-minute, not a several hour, because then we get into different brainwave things. So I would and he always said, and I believe, the chatter and the monkey mind is part of the meditation. So I would just say again, come from gratitude. Thank you for those thoughts. I'm going to let those thoughts go. Other thoughts come. So it's a dance back and forth, back and forth. And then eventually we have a gap. It's called the gap, when there's just silence. And then when we notice the gap, then we're out of the gap. So it's really a dance back and forth. So the gap might be a split second and then turn into a few seconds. But then if we realize that there was total silence and peace, then we're out of the gap. So I would just dance with it. The important thing is, like I said, and Deepak just said, is the intention of sitting down for 10, 15, 20 minutes, either a guided meditation, listening to someone. He has that great Oprah and Deepak 21-day thing is all over the internet, a free 21-day thing, or just sit in silence, or listen to music, or your breath. There's all different options. Just sit there, and as the thoughts come and go, just be grateful for them and say, I'm going to release them now. I'm going to release them now. I'm going to release them now. and you'll have the benefit from it. So the number one is not to be hard on yourself, because it's all part of the meditation. Do you agree, Kelly?
Well,
Absolutely agree. What is your name? What is your birth date, Barbara?
May 10th.
Okay, so you come in. Oh, you come in with some endings there. This is a lifetime of uh, of your soul coming to ends with certain things throughout the life. You would have had some losses. You would have had endings. It's actually a really good lifetime for learning lessons and actually learning. And so, like end of a life cycle is what they call it. So I'm sorry for the loss of
Yeah,
your
I understand.
husband. I can tell you he is around you. And I think that this probably is what helped bring you to this
feel it
place.
quite often.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, but thank you for calling. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate your information. I've been sitting here taking notes.
Great, Barbara.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Barbara. Wow.
Thank you, both of you. You're awesome.
Thank you. Jeff, I have loved every minute with you on this show.
Me too, Kelly.
Can everybody out there feel his energy? It's like, it's so zen. I
Thank
love it.
you. Great. Yeah, we can be zen and be in strong action and have businesses and families and just
Right.
be at peace. So it's all possible. But
It's all possible.
I'd love to come back with both of you again and see Shirley, and I'll come back anytime.
We will do that. I can't wait. All right, John.
Yes. So thank you very much, Jeff. And folks, please be sure to join our group if you haven't already.
Yeah.
That is the Both Sides Now TV community. And maybe we'll get Jeff in there and he can respond to you as well in the group, which would be great.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, so just check us out. It's Both Sides Now TV community, and join the group, because that's where we're posting more these days, because it reaches more. And
Right.
we appreciate all the posts in there. That's how we're coming up with the topics for the show each week as well. So we are listening. So please be sure to post your suggestions.
And call Jeff, everybody. Jeff at
Yeah.
jeffadler.com.
You got the
Thank you.
there on the site, the Jeff at jeffadler.com. It's Let's Create What's Possible. Thanks again, Jeff. Everybody take care. We will see you again next week. That's Monday at 6 p.m. our new time. That's 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern time. So take care.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
You've been listening to Both Sides Now, featuring the unconventional duo Dr. Shirley and Kelly White. Two perspectives, one world.